Bit of a theme for us.
Yeah, exactly. Good one. I do like that angle Yanka comes in with, right? Like the idea that we get that coal liquid, as we've been calling it, the cannibalization of North America. And yeah, it is a scary place with Furia and Liquid still down in the running, sitting 2-1 after losing their opening BO1s. I think that's a very scary place to go to, Harry. No one wants to lose a match. Just take this clean 3-0 run and get to the major in style. That's the goal for Complexity and MiBR as we get into this pistol round. Map 1 of the series. MiBR's pick and Cole sending it, MiBR sending it outside.
Ooh, they are closing the gap on Elige here. Insani tries to face him, but Elige gets the better in that fight and manages to tell the tale. He gets out. Oh, quick pick back in, and that's Floppy lending a helping hand. It's all eyes on drop. 1v3 and not to be. Halzerk there, ready and waiting. Locks it in. It's a Complexity. Nice start here to open up Nuke. They're going to secure the pistol. The map pick of MiBR starts off in Complexity's favor.
Yes, indeed, Harry. I mentioned, coming into this game, it was the last RMR Cole. They were the only non-Brazilian team to manage to get through. But we saw success at that major. We saw the Brazilians and Complexity grant this region a couple more spots. So I'd say they're good for it.
I mean, MiBR weren't a part of that, right? So it's now a world where they're going to try and get some good out of what everyone else fought for back in Copenhagen.
I do love that play for Luke Halsey. The jumping Zeus out of hut, trying to get the hut roof player. It's peekaboo. Call on 2.
For Complexity, you're going to be keeping a keen eye on a couple of individuals here. Elige, it kind of goes without saying. He's so often the figurehead of this squad, so you want to see the start that he's able to get off to. But I think some notable names in there alongside him. Grim, Dust touched on him over on the desk, kind of said how you've been getting those upticks in performance. And Grim, who's someone, back when he kind of joined Liquid, he was touted as a real up-and-comer within North America. You kind of... I felt like you got to see two sides of him in that Liquid squad. There were moments where you saw all that potential, but it was never quite harnessed. And then since moving into Cole, it's always felt like you've just wanted that little bit more from the guy.
Yeah, you've definitely questioned some of the environments he's been in, I think you could say, right? Like, I don't know how positive that Liquid team was for a young player like him, but this does seem like a little bit friendly of a roster, even if there are moments of tilt.
Ooh, out towards ramp, but they're going to go running into Floppy. Stands his ground, and there's Elige ready to fight alongside him. Gets away with the dink. Halzerk is that third name that I'm going to be looking at here because it was kind of an interesting time period for him this year where, we learned that things were still up in the air with his contract. It felt like for a long while there, he was actually kind of playing for his time in this team. And he was able to show he's got what it takes. They kept him on.
Ooh.
Insani.
Oh, he missed the vent. Was he just trying to check behind it? Might have just been going for the clear, but to us, it looks like he missed. And Insani hears that lurk. Or here's that rotate on the lurk, and he can come in on late ramp. So Halzerk, he read it, but just a second too early. And now Insani, he's got the round-winning timing. Even if Halzerk were a double kill right now, this backstab is the last thing you're ready for. Position revealed. Halzerk takes it. Exit just trying to buy a few more seconds. A kill is fantastic. And this is that late lurk.
Ramp.
And there's a smoke. Insani's got an HE. He'll go right on it. He's got to get that kill instantly, and he will. MiBR float in this round just enough to bob in that water and save themselves. Great lurk for Insani.
I mean, for the MiBR squad, when we kind of look down the line of folks to keep an eye on, Insani is very much the guy leading the conversation there. Cool story behind him as well, obviously coming from the MiBR Academy squad before moving into this. And I remember his debut back at Katowice. He kind of stole the show.
Yeah, this team is kind of the angle of the Katowice, not the Katowice, hold this thought actually. No, it's a good time. It's the Academy kids all grown up now, right? Because it's not just Insani who's putting on, record-breaking performances on especially those Challenger lands. We saw him go crazy in Australia, but also Drop, right? Ex-Academy player for the Furious side, now an in-game leader. You know, they're all grown up now, Harry. The kids are out of school. They've moved out of the house.
Yeah, I love the idea of Drop going to IGL. When he joined this team, it was exit. But I think even when we kind of learned about that transition and his change to it, it's just the exit. I don't think him IGLing came as like a product of necessity as opposed to it being something he necessarily wanted to do. And so I think all of them were quite glad when that got offloaded onto Drop.
Yeah.
And Drop, I want to. It feels like he's taken to it very, very well. You know, it was always going to be a bit of a grind undertaking that leadership responsibility, but it was something he said felt like it kind of came naturally to an extent. You know, he noticed he was already being very communicative, already kind of outlining plans anyway. So just that formal handoff of actually giving him the reins. And I mean, hell, if they're able to make it to the major. That would outshine what you've seen from MiBR in a long while.
Absolutely, since Antwerp, last time this organization made it. A lot of pressure on upper early. Got to be very careful not to get smoke spammed. A wrong step on this top site at Nuke could be a 5v4 and a lost site. So JT just about dodges that, holding for a door push. MiBR static in the lobby. 4 players here, one holding the outside push. And Sonic can play late if he wants. Well, they're trying to bait for Halzuk with that re-smoke on Glaive. It's in a nice aggressive off angle, and that allows Cole to dedicate 3 players to upper if they want. In fact, the rotate going ramp. So 2 and 2 is fine, really, with double top roof, or double top hut. Cole are well set up for anything MiBR are going to throw at them. Couple more nades go in, more pressure, but this is not a commitment. Cole now just have to consider that there could be a player down lower, but that's a fine concession. Halzuk now, oh, he gets impatient, and that's exactly what MiBR wanted. They waited over a minute for that play to happen. And so with a 5v4 now, the world is their oyster.
Floppy's going to get tested here, only with the MP9 as well. Plays the drop down straight away. Elige, is he often going to see him here? That first port of call, that first rotate in, puts Elige back on the ramp room, and then Floppy goes ham on the SMG.
I mean,
the little interplay between the two of them.
The round just looks perfect for MiBR there. I don't think it could have sat better in that 5-on-4. They get a pick outside. Cole have to rotate Elige off of ramp, which is the gap, and immediately MiBR take that position. Still, somehow Elige gets a double from hell. That's a lack of the util. They don't have a molly to burn him out of position to stop him from re-peeking and catching those players dropping. Well played to the ramp drop. Floppy able to get 2 kills out of it, and they even removed the lurk outside. I mean, in an instant, it went from best case to worst case scenario for MiBR. That's a round where you call it perfectly, but the execution leaves something to be desired. Oh, they actually haven't got the spot here. So late cross behind the smokes, but they're playing on the back wall. Usually when you see this diag wall of smokes, you want to play close to them. Otherwise, a Heaven player can get that info. So Cole know that MiBR are B. Again, it's a 5v4, but we've seen this fall before. Not in this round, say MiBR.
Oh, JT tries to swing out. Will get out with the double. Oh, hold on a second. Down to the P2K. Even the follow-up dink, but he's not finished the job. Grim's already dropped on down towards lower, and right as he does, MiBR move into that top site. They're onto a winner here, and there's not really anything Grim can do about it.
Can't even take a gun. It would reveal his position.
I mean, that's nice looking round there put forward for Insani. Gets himself another opener here. Once more out in the yard, but this time it's kind of who he opens up onto, right? You have Elige on the receiving end of it. And so knocking him out of the round is a serious blow to complexity. Not just because of what he's capable of individually, but his kind of role across Nuke here. He's the one you're going to see floating around. Starting some rounds out in the yard, being that guy rotating over towards ramp. He has a lot of freedom, and so when you get rid of him, you get rid of kind of that that presence that can be felt all across the map.
Yeah, it's kind of, you know, the kill feed is so important when you get to this level of CS, because the familiarity with your opponent, watching their demos, knowing who's playing what. Say you kill Insani, you see smokes outside, you push lobby, you kill Insani, you're pretty sure that it's a 4-1 and the rest of MiBR are outside and they've left the, you know, Insani to lurk in her. And those kind of tiny details make all the difference in how you position and how you react. The kill feed reading, so important. And there's definitely a bit of familiarity with these teams, both of them having played each other before. Cole won it last time. But it's a fresh face MiBR now with LumaFusion in this lineup. Even more firepower added to the roster. Talking of firepower, I mean, you arguably have the best, you know, two of the most informed players from their region in Elige from North America and Sani from South America. I mean, the numbers these guys have been putting up this year are incredible. Halzerk getting smoked late. They spot him in the garage, but it's all a fake right now. Smoke wall down, and in fact, Cole have 3 players with eyes on outside, so they're really falling for this at the moment. It's a Leech tucked in at ramp, a position that often goes underchecked.
Yeah, I mean, he's clearly playing the long game. There, you just saw him hands off the keyboard, looking down the line, talking.
He needs multi. He hears him out. He's in no hurry. Halzerk baiting for him. Ooh, bit of damage.
Actually, the tag onto LumaFusion just to put the fear in him.
Oh, they're so aware. They're like, this is too free. This is way too free. There was actually only 1 player out ramp, and now it's just turned into a lurk. LumaFusion coming in, walking through his own smoke. That's one way to do it, buddy.
Oh, Grim, hang on! They all line up in the door, small choke point, and as JT tries to have a Grim moment of his own up through ladder, he will get locked out. Floppy, drop down B right off the top, trying to tee up Elige over on the ramp side, and so that's going to leave him far out of the conversation here of attempting this retake. MiBR up in the lead. Big round from LumaFusion over towards ramp. Great awareness, as you say, when it's that free, and especially, you know, with Halzerk kind of spamming, selling where that scout is, letting them know, yeah, ramp's empty. It felt too good to be true, and that's because it was. LumaFusion keeps his wits about him.
Yeah, that's, I mean, it's a very uncomfortable position for Elige as well. He doesn't know, oh, is it 1 player? Is he out? Maybe I just catch a timing. He's got a peek eventually. Just LumaFusion the whole time is ready.
Just staring at him.
Yeah, like, he's there. I know it. They could have even mollied him. That's the craziest part. They didn't even choose to. MiBR running the board on this T side, looking solid so far, with nice variants of play. A lot of smoke walls, not using them every time, keeping complexity guessing. Right now, Cole can't decisively see where MiBR are going if they throw outside smokes. All they know is they've lost information. That the potential is there. And every now and then, 5 players are going to go down secret, and you find out the hard way.
I mean, I think that's even one of the things that's been interesting about the drop change to IGL. It feels like he tries to call a surprisingly, you know, refined game. I think just when you look at where he came from and the leader that he played under in Art for the, you know, like majority of his forward-facing Tier 1 career. Art obviously known for some of his out-of-the-box thinking and aggressive plays. Quite an extreme style, and not one by the looks of things that Drop was keen to try and replicate. Oh.
It's hard in CS2 for some to get up the ladder, and I feel like if you get chased as well, if someone's right behind you, it's even harder to slip off at the top.
Yeah, you like lag stuck into each other.
Yeah, you just get stuck. All right, a little lobby aggression, but LumaFusion's punished the first player outside. Look at the space he's got, and he's already at CT spawn. So MiBR say, hey, we don't need to live and die on this lobby fight right now. We know there's someone here. Let's just relax. Let LumaFusion close the gap. And yeah, going back to spawn is the best play here. Exit has no support. Welcome to Roof. You're not getting much further.
Nice to see LumaFusion looking good, though. Feeling pretty comfortable right now is the guy. Right up there alongside Insani, topping the charts.
That's what you want. Oh. I mean, Complexity is milling around right now looking for anything they can get, but they know the whole map is shrinking. MiBR are about to plant on the B-bomb site as well. They're in no hurry. They know they've won this round. It's just about keeping it clean. 5-7 is brutal. And exit with a bit of a whiff. We'll give over an AK. That's a good save. Floppy can get away as well. Supplement the money for later. And I mean, you're almost supposed to just hunt here because the bomb does so much damage. Sure, they can save orange box on ramp, but there's nowhere else. That's like the only save spot, really, other than the 2 spawns. You can go top secret. But MiBR, they'd rather build up their own money. They don't have a lot, in fairness. Keep 4 alive. Allow Cole a bit of respect.
Terrorists win.
So here we go. Slow and steady for MiBR. I have liked the calling.
Yeah, I mean, they're in the kind of power position right now on their map pick on the T side, right? They have Complexity in the dreaded economic spot that exists for CTs.
Yeah. What, existing?
Yeah. It's rough out on these streets.
It definitely is. Do they really do up tempo, or is this just a poise for control early? JT eats that Molotov. Maybe they want to actually go off this one. LumaFusion walks out hot alone with no flash. That's a little bit out there. 3 players just getting removed from the round in an instant. And the Liege knows that Insani could be in this position with the first smoke down. Gets an entry, but he's not getting any further thanks to a Liege. And a good swap off the top of hut for Grim. Changes position, and Cole keep it nice and clean. I mean, that was a weird one.
Yeah, you know, MiBR trying to change the tempo a little bit. I think that's a real sigh of relief moment for Complexity because this CT side was in danger of spiraling out of control. And as we learned from the desk, as you know from watching Cold play, CT here on Nuke, undoubtedly where they do the best work. And so the last thing you wanted was for MiBR to be in that position to start winning out on the T side, right? Win out this first half.
I don't even mind like changing the pace and trying to you're trying to stay ahead of your opponent and thinking, okay, they're going to adapt to what we're doing. So what are they going to do? Maybe they're going to play heavier outside. Maybe they drop a guy secret. I think A's weaker this round, and you can make that call and maybe go for a faster play. I think the spacing there is really off. LumaFusion walks out hut. 5 seconds later, someone walks out hut. Then someone walks out door.
Yeah.
It's like just go together. You know, either play off spawn or don't play off spawn. It's fine. You just do it together. There was such a huge gap in the spacing there that there's no way you're even setting up for trades.
Well, maybe you have the call and everyone said yes to it, but you're not truly ready or on the same page to actually go on it. All right, well, it's given Complexity a nice little leg up, a chance to recover this CT side after all. In what could have been a very dominant first half for MiBR. Now you hit this tipping point where suddenly Complexity can look to win out this first half of play. Aggression from Grim, the order of the day. That's a freebie on LumaFusion, and it's timed perfectly with this push in from Floppy and Halzerg over on the ramp side. Bomb now away from MiBR. Saves trying to recover it, but that smoke is not his friend here. Down on B, JT's picked up. Insani aware.
That makes it look like he came from vent, but he definitely didn't. He walked outside. He made that early cross. I think JT knew because of Elige's comm, but he got so deep. Elige still in a powerful position again, though. Patience will pay off because Insani has to cross out this position to assist his team. He's going to go all the way back to spawn, avoiding Elige entirely.
I mean, this is the...
What a move.
Sort of star head-to-head. It's Sani versus Elige, but it doesn't come through. He's been able to skirt on past him and actually get back in to retake the lobby.
They've got a guy on B, but I don't know if you can wait for this. It's going to take so long. Luckily, Halzuk's fighting. Swing out, no trade. Second player should be the kicker. Elige actually finds him. He does win that start head-to-head, coming in back to that main position. And Exit has to save, as they don't have a lot of money. Complexity, nice call. Aggression off the lobby, delayed, and with 3 players to do so as well. They cause a bit of pandemonium in radio, and then Grim catches Lukowski coming down ladder. That's a painful death. Honestly, I think just stick to this outside stuff. Insani's getting so much space. He's winning his fights as well, even if you don't want to use smokes and just let him take a head-to-head. Halzuk's not been AWPing outside yet. See if Insani can keep getting away with this. Absolute murder in the yard. MiBR, a second timeout called.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this is where that one kind of awkward pace change around for MiBR can come back to haunt them, right? As we were saying, like they were in this position to win out on the T side, and then you send Complexity onto their rougher half, really on the back foot. Suddenly that one round comes through. Now they start to chain a couple together, where now you're the ones with the broken money. You're not going to break Complexity before the end of this first half now, right? So you're going to be up against buys every single round. The task has been made a lot harder here for MiBR. Now 5 rounds is still good on this T side, but it's just it's what it could have been versus the situation you've ended up in.
And you don't want to think about this during the game, you certainly aren't, but like Vertigo up next, as Dust said on the desk, Complexity best Vertigo team in the world. Like MiBR need this map if they want to win this series. It's going to feel like little upper pop with that AK, but it gets nowhere fast, and Grim top part has been a rock on this A site. Another multi-kill for Grimathy, 12-4. He has not let them into his sight. Keeps changing angle top part. It's so annoying to read. Complexity 6-5, and the chance for them to win the half now going into the last round.
Yeah, I think this is starting to feel kind of rough. You know, you have your 2 kind of anchors looking really, really good here for Complexity. Grim has been a rock over towards the top site, and to his credit, Floppy on ramp has been really solid. And I think even more critically for someone who finds himself over towards ramp, just very unproblematic. He hasn't been giving up that early fight. Oftentimes, the only time he's really looking to take it is when he has support systems there. It's not like he's been going down untraded in these ramp fights. In the few times you have seen him fall.
There we go.
And so, you know, getting past these anchors has felt really hard, and then that's lending more freedom to players like Elige to spread out across the map. But in this round, it doesn't work out for him. Now, Halzuk was there as well. They didn't know about the double push. They still don't know about this Halzuk AWP. In the meantime, Grim holds down A. Just continues to be a nuisance here, but Exit, that's more like it. Insani now in a good position to find Halzuk, and they know that Floppy has trickled in out through the heavens into the top site. This is MiBR looking to tie up this first half after having the chance to be the team leading moving into the second. They'll take an even board, just Floppy left to get past, but that bomb down in front of him. Smokes were in the way. He's been given a moment to reposition here. Is he ready for the Hut re-swing? Pincid from main and Hut safe. Will pick it up. Only 3 kills, but he gets that one. And that sees MiBR through a split half there, as MiBR are able to break down that double stack out in the yard, and they finally get past Grim on top Hut.
Very surprised that they don't realize what Insani's up to there, because Halzuk has back red, and Elige is kind of holding the same spot. Maybe he's holding the gap in the smoke on the glaive, but they hear Insani hit that molly. He climbs over, he drops down, and he still gets round the smoke to kill Elige. He looked very surprised by that play when Insani actually completely missed his run boost. It was meant to jump onto top blue so he could cross quicker. Just completely oblivious to it. It's a surprise. This was a kill though. Exit wins around with that second frag onto Grim, who played a different position, passive on the top Hut in the middle, able to stop the flood on A. But Exit hits a flick and saves a round for MiBR. So 6-6 at the half, a level game. I think everyone's happy.
Yeah, I mean, I think Collar excited at the fact that they've been able to level this out, considering how it was going. And it looked like MiBR were going to head into this second half with something, you know, like a 7-5 lead, and that would have been a terrifying prospect. But I think for Complexity, they know this is still very much an uphill battle now, moving on to the T half. You could alleviate a lot of that pressure by finding success in the pistol, but MiBR have come into this with a game plan, with an idea. They crunch onto the lobby. And so now all that's left for Cole is this outside presence, and Safe is making quick work of them. Haven't had to say Safe's name all too much across this map, but as we move into the CT side, you're going to see him donning that AWP out in the yard, always looking to be a problem. MiBR, that is a commanding start to this second half.
I love how they help him as well. They all just swing through that main smoke. They don't respect the utility of Cole. As soon as Safe gets a 5v3 after the lobby push, they know where all of Cole are, and they just want to help out their sniper. All swinging together, all trading out. A very proactive pistol for MiBR. I mean, Drop literally played his spawn to rush ramp with the dualies. Doesn't get much prettier than that on a pistol round. MiBR here to play, and Cole have to swallow the bitter pill of a full eco. Time for Exit to make some money. Although he dropped off hard. They heard that. Oh, this is... Okay, recovered. Bomb down! Bomb down! Can the ramp player stop it? Drop, go quick! Yes, he can! Elite tried. All right, Cole, time to catch your breath. This is hyper important to stop MiBR from swelling out of control on their map pick. And it's always scary these rounds because you know there are SMGs in play, so part of you is just calling to watch out for this lobby push. MiBR is in their best interest to make a move early in the round.
I mean, Insani is already trying to flex out in the yard, right? Across the T side, he was a real nuisance here. And the CT side is much the same. Hyper involved. Insani throws himself out into that deep yard control and locks Complexity from the outside portion of the map. That doesn't leave them with many options here. They try to get past drop in at the ramp room, but there's already rotates in. 2 players fall for either side, and that leaves it all on Halzerg.
Good familiarity with the CT side of this map for MiBR, right? It's their pick, of course, but as soon as they clear positions, they're stacking other ones, right? They get 2 kills outside, they know immediately, put 2 ramp, put more lobby. Complexity kind of, their hand is forced. They lose double outside players, they have to push something. They know there's a heavy setup outside. But by that point, MiBR are already there and ready. Halzerg would have to pull out a filthy 1v4 clutch.
Oh.
And they spotted him, I think.
He has a chance at the 1v1 here to get the ball rolling, to whet the appetite. He's opened up with 1. The hot re-swing going to be that next point of contact, though, and he's just not ready for it. Exit bides his time there, wasn't playing for the instant trade, and as Halzerg goes to plug in the numbers, that's when Exit strikes.
Seeing Insani bring great energy on the cams as well. Looks like he was shouting up there, hollering for MiBR as they win a seriously important rifle round. The first of the half, forcing attack for Cole. No bomb plant either. It's spelling a pretty dire game right now for Complexity.
Yeah, I mean, I like one of the comments that Dust made on the desk where he was saying how it feels like Insani's even like punching above his weight a little bit with the team he's on versus how good he can be.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting because, you know, when you kind of look at like the big boy players within Brazil, you very much have someone like K Serato who's like at the forefront of your mind, and then you would have someone like an Insani in there behind him. But I think, you know, they're very different players in terms of how they approach the game. Drop, who's played with K Serato back on Furia, we all know K Serato liked the late rounds, you know, liked to kind of play it late into it where he could step up and deliver you rounds in clutch moments. But Insani loves to be involved right off the rip. He's a very aggressive player. And I think that comes across even in terms of, like you say, his personality, the energy he's bringing to the game here. He's loud, he's in your face. And him feeling comfortable is a big problem for Complexity. Lukowski, the newer man in the MiBR jersey, steps up with a quick double as they try to explode into the top side, but this one's gone nowhere for Cole. And this is where, like, sure, they kind of salvage the CT side by getting 6. But you're always going to be hard-pressed for that to be enough.
And on that angle, that I agree with the point that you're bringing up there from Dust, with like the argument that he's better than the team he's on. I think it's cool, though, that MiBR are actually trying to... They're making changes, right? They've brought in Lukowski, a definite addition in firepower. They changed the in-game leader this year. The results have been better. They made that Pro League run with the end of their last roster,
they are
on
the up and up.
So... Yes, maybe his team could be better, but they are getting better. They are picking up better results, and this could be a major where we see MiBR actually, you know, well, firstly qualify for the first time in a long time, but shake some heads. Nice push for Drop. He's been very aggressive in the CT side. Again, runs into the lobby.
He just, you know, I think he likes to be very, very active in how they approach these rounds. They don't want to sit back and kind of wait for the fights to come to them. They love trying to get one step ahead of the opponents, and I think for Complexity that causes you problems. You know, you're trying to run this outside control round, but now you've lost your inner lurk, and so as a result, like, you have no information what's going on in the lobby. You know that MiBR have a bounty of info to play around here. They've already got 2 players down at lower to kind of go alongside that. So suddenly, sure, you have the yard, but you can't win the round from here. You have to go to the extremities. You have to try and make something come of this. And so you're going to see JT now walking over towards Hell, the rest of the team in tow behind him. But this is almost an adjustment you feel forced to do, right? You don't really feel content in that idea of trying to take lower, knowing that it's probably double stacked for MiBR. You're going to go hunting and see if you can strike anyone from this top side first.
Oh, that's
all
awkward.
right.
Classic molly down the ladder. It always happens. But Insani has a pretty dirty position.
That would have bought you some nice time.
Oh dear.
Drops picked up Halzerk down in the base of Hell, and Insani will get checked, but it makes it so easy for Lukowski. Great crossfire between them. And that round is all Drop. The active push into lobby right off the rip, and then the turnaround to mop up that flank in through Hell. This CT side has been stellar for MiBR.
Yeah, where's it gone? It's just disappeared, hasn't it? This second half in an instant. A rush into lobby into the pistol. And Drop has just kept it going. Strength to strength. In your face. Lukowski, multiple double kills on this A site, making Anchor look easy. And MiBR playing a team game right now. Everyone contributing. Fast out ramp for Complexity, a desperation call, but the smoke is down. They go through into Drop with another double for an MiBR player. He's even going to get out with the option for more. Drop hangs around, Floppy punishes, and Complexity just have to surround B. But look at Lukowski. How is he here already tucked in the corner of the B bomb site? He lets him pass. Easy for Lukowski. Double up, almost a lead with a crucial trade, but it's all too little, and it might be too late.
It's another round where Halzerk is left in one of these awkward 1vx's. And as is often the case, MiBR is still pushing and prodding. They know where he is. They know he's out on a limb here over towards ramp. Bomb away from him as well. And Safe has just moved into a great position there, ready to help Insani. Like, even if he falls in that fight, which Insani doesn't often do, you had that instant trade potential. It's a very safe way of playing out the 3v1.
15 and 8 on Insani. He's having a hell of a game. With now how one-sided this is starting to feel in the second half. Complexity yet to pick up a T round and might never. Lukowski, similar score, and Drop with the impact in the CT side alone. So here we go, a last-ditch attempt. Complexity tried a quick rush, it got nowhere. And now Safe's even got the AWP to make matters worse. Complexity don't have a lot of util to break this AWP off angles, but the gun will have to do. Elite finds him from top silo, looking for a double up. There's more fights outside for Elite.
Oh, chases it.
That's got to be enough.
Yeah, 3 kills from Elite. Surely that is what brings Complexity into this T side, but it might not be enough. Grim and Floppy have got to finish what Elite started here just to keep Nuke alive for Complexity for even one more round.
Lucalzi has such good timing.
There's the backstab. Grim secures it. Elite drop left up in this all alone, and they double swing. Complexity. They leave it all to Elite. And it at least keeps Nuke alive for one more.
Right, first T round, but it's not where you want to be. 5 more in a row required without a blemish allowed on your record. MiBR, and you just know they have an aggressive round in them, like a call to make, another lobby push. In one of these next 5 rounds, they're going to do it. You're never safe. Good util early into upper, and Complexity actually going to push the issue. Pre-fire on the top hop player, full blind back of the site, and Complexity break in.
I mean, if Grim and Elite can keep this up, you know, you want to say that hope isn't fully dead yet for Complexity. It's just a real uphill battle, because as you say, at any moment, MiBR can throw in one of those aggressive rounds. They can throw in one of those rounds where they catch you a little bit off balance. But for the time being, Call have found a solution very, very late in the game. No margin for error. And it's that old Liquid duo reuniting in Complexity that are having to do it right now.
Gonna have to be an eco. That's the bad news for MiBR. But
Even this is hard for Cole though, right? Like just because of where the game's at, and you know that 2 guns got saved, you kind of have to approach this like you're up against the rifles. You don't want to get caught running into one of those guys set up on the M4s and suddenly a multi-kill goes against you. But on the flip side, it's like if you go too slow, maybe you end up falling prey to one of these aggressive rounds with the pistols leading the charge in a push. It can feel very hard to know what the right option is at this point in the game for Cole.
2 guns, CT side, can absolutely win you around on Nuke. Yeah, not just because of how mobile you can be and you should be in these rounds if you have a rifle surrounded by pistols, but also because exactly as you say, you push the wrong position, you go into a choke point. We've seen a lot of double kills from Lucalzi from drop. You can absolutely win this round if you're MiBR. So, yeah, Cole have to be cautious. But they know what's on the line. They know what they're up against.
I just think, you know, the last 2 rounds for Cole have been these very, very quick, very explosive, led by individual plays, and it's going to be hard to want to replicate that here, but they go back to it. A fast run down to the top site. Insani not finished off back in main, and there's one of those M4s getting involved. Complexity believe that if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Down a man, guns getting swapped over. MiBR with nothing to lose in a try for this top site. They even have a kit. So don't get too comfortable, Complexity.
Insani's got the flash. He's going back into spawn right now to throw that for the heaven peak.
Oh, no.
Drop actually goes ahead of it, and now you still have that flashbang. This is insane value that they've been able to get out of that peak from Drop. There's the flash to tee up the push. Drop moves in. Can he find even more? The captain of MiBR doing all he can to make this round happen. Insani low on health, and yeah, they write it off. They call the save. They gave it a damn good try. Complexity breathe a sigh of relief as they narrowly avoid disaster in this round.
That's terrifying. Absolutely. 5 on 3. If only that backside player is blind, and suddenly MiBR are cooking with gas. But Complexity live to fight yet another round and keep this stream alive of 6 in a row to take us to overtime. They're halfway there. Full buy for MiBR. AWP out. Halsek the same. Damage doesn't really matter for MiBR on the way out. Cole have everything they need. Hope and a dream. Hauser going for a spawn peek as well, but it's dropped just blocking. A lead up to no good on Silo and a spot of the AWP.
You haven't really had to home in on the AWPers too much in this match so far, but suddenly you can feel it. They're both keen to be involved. They know the waiting behind this first incision, and so ooh, you're certainly being given some jiggles, a bit of temptation here, and there's that safe AWP firing off for the opener. Complexity now. After streaking these last three together, left a man down. Desperate times, desperate measures, out into ramp, leaves them in the firing line of Insani. Halzerk's AWP wanted to try and open, and now it's one of the only things left at the close. It's him and Elige that are going to have to dig deep here for Cole. 2v5 required to keep Nuke alive. It starts with Safe's AWP finally getting involved out in the yard. And Insani is the one that looks to take it all home. That double up in a ramp leaves Cole with no options. Defeat awaits on Nuke. MiBR, their map pick, their CT side, clean as hell.
Oh dear, it's done. Get us out of here. MiBR take it in style with a very aggressive CT side, and they steal the first map of this series, their pick.
That was convincing from MiBR in the second half. What did we think of Complexity's T side, Dust?
I mean, it's the same old problem. Like, they cannot play the T side of this map for whatever reason, and it can happen in a number of different ways. It can either be they look disjointed in the early round, which is usually not their problem in other maps. It can come in the mid round, where they often, if they have problems, that will be where it happens.